if my opponent is right here and he shoots in for me, typically I want to get a head and an arm, and then I want to get onto my knees, but not on this bottom part of my knee. I'd rather be somewhere on my quads to hips when I sprawl back like we just did. Typically, if I am on this type of, this side of my knee, he'll be able to raise his head and then drive through and then finish his takedown. So, try to make sure that you either end up on your toes, sagging and getting your hips back, or if you're going to be on your legs or your knees, you just want to be on like the front, like the top end of your knee, like this, with your toes on the mat. And then, so let's say I have this head and arm right here. I'm going to take the head that's around of his chin. I'm going to cut down with my elbow so that my tricep is still putting pressure on his head. And then I'm going to put the back of my hand on his tricep. And then I'll do the same move as the top spin. So I'll take my outside leg, I'll step up, I'll drop my knee, and use the pivot to be able to take this leg and trail it so that I'm attacking his turtle. So I'll be here, I'll have just sprawled, I take this elbow, cut it in right here, put the back of my hand on his tricep, step, drop my knee and pivot. Then we go side to side, so my opponent will stand up with me, he'll do a shot, I'll sprawl, elbow on the back of his head, put the back of my hand on his tricep, step up, and pivot. Questions? 1, 2. Once I land here, guys, if I end up making too much space to get this hand across and he's able to raise his head, anytime my opponent's able to raise his head, I will effectively lose this position. The advantage of this position is that when I'm on top of his head and putting pressure into his head, like going down, it's like hard for him to look up. So I'm effectively it's kind of like someone did a back take already as far as his perception. And so the number one priority here is to keep his headline down. And I might feel like not so mobile if I'm like keeping my hips back and then squeezing my head and arm as much as I can just to secure the position. So something that'll allow me to be a lot more mobile is just putting my my hand on the back of his head and keeping his pressure down. So the drill that we just did is if he's just blind to me, a lot of times people will start moving around in a circle and all he has to do is stick his arm out to the side, stick one arm out to the side, and then if I go that direction, I get caught. And then he can start standing up and making my day difficult. So when I get here, if I put my palm on the back of his head and keep his posture down, I can effectively come up and be super mobile here, keeping his posture down and keeping him looking at the ground. It's going to be more like I have a step in order to move first before he realizes where I'm going. So even if he puts his arms out straight to the side, just to the side, like an airplane, yeah, like this. Even if he does this, just straight to the side, there you go. If he's ready for me and I am trying to move to the side, because I'm so high now and so mobile, even if he were to grab my leg right here, all I have to do is do it like I draw my shin like a shin cut, and I will effectively get over that. Now if his arm was sticking to the side, I would catch this in my crucifix and bring this heel all the way back to trap this. Now I can either lock down the shoulder and the neck, and then roll into something like a back take or a crucifix. So we'll just be here with the head and arm. We're going to put our weight down on their head so we can get up and be mobile, and then we can start going to the side. If he grabs our leg, I just drop my shin over the top, boom, like this, and do that same pivot like we were doing before, except now when I'm dragging my leg, it's going to catch his arm. I don't want to stop here. I want to keep going all the way until his arm's bent from here to here. And now it's like a lot harder for him to get this arm back. Now I can lock down this side of the shoulder and then start taking the crucifix or the back take. So again, we'll stuff the shot. I'll be in the head and arm. I'll focus on getting my palm on the back of his head. And now if I start going to the side and he catches me, right here, I just drop my shin over the top. And now I do the same top spin that we just did and catch this wrist with my heel. Keep going with this until I've collected it and his arm switches the direction. And now I just get this shoulder locked down. I usually grab underneath. I'll aim for a wrist grip. If I can't get that, I'll get the collar. And then this other hand can either help me out with the head, look for a choke, double up on this wrist for like a Kimura trap. Could be doing a bunch of different things. This is kind of like, you'll have to feel this yourself. But if I have this like wrist locked down with this hand, usually I'm looking for like the choke right here. If I wanted this to finish this right here, I could keep this wrist or look for the other collar. If I can't find the collar, I get the wrist. And then instead of like walking towards the clock choke, like a lot of people do this, I like to jump my hips there and then end at the base of his neck right here. One more time. Opponent's below me. I sprawled out, nice. I put the pressure on the back of his head and I start moving around. I have the shin cut around his arm, and then I start doing that same pivot we were just doing and collect this wrist. Like so, all the way until I can like crisscross my legs over here. Now I start worrying about the shoulder. I can grab a grip here, I can grab his wrist here, I can grab the collar here. I can either feed, or I can start jumping over for the crucifix. Any questions? 1, 2. And now we know that if I can keep his head down, it gives me ultra mobility to start walking around his body without him seeing where I'm going really. For the sake of this purposes, we'll just keep the arms out to the side. It's a common reaction actually. Like when I have someone above my head, I typically am like looking to catch their leg. And that way I can pull it in and start bringing my head up high and wrestling. I'll show you guys actually what that looks like real quick. So he's on the back of my head. A lot of times I'm just waiting for him to start circling around. And then I start catching this and getting my head towards his hips, bringing it high, and then I can get a takedown off of that. So that's all I'm looking to prevent really. I just want heavy on the head. Now I can double up on the spine right here so I can get extra weight on it. Now instead of what we just did where I was taking the same leg approach, like I'm going to the right so I'm going to step with my right leg. That's why I get caught here and I have to do the shin cross. I could do a cross step right here. And now if his elbow is available to me, I'll start reaching down for this arm bar. And the great thing about this is it's already a belly down arm bar, so I don't have to do anything. I can literally just keep pulling this up until it's like a tap for him. And typically he's going to be the one that initiates a roll and I just have to follow. So I'll be in this position right here. If I have this hand configuration with my right hand is down here on his head, I'll typically do a right cross step this direction. So if I want to do the other way, I prefer to have this. So I'll cross step. I see that his hand is available to me. Before I let go of his head, I just need to get underneath his arm. And then now, bring this pinky towards me, and eventually I'll get the tap. So here, boom. Now for the purposes of this drill, I like his arms being out to the side. Typically he's going to have like inside here, maybe his elbows and knees is connected. So if his elbows are like hidden underneath his body, he has like less base, but it's the arm bar is gone. His arms need to be like elbows flared out. When I see his elbows are flared out, I do my cross step. You can have the pinch. I just reach underneath the tricep, pull it up, and now fetch for the wrist. Close my knees and keep following. If he does his front roll, go ahead. I just typically want to keep my pinch, and then this leg will like keep his shoulder down until I have time to bring it to both legs in front of his face. Now I can finish. One more. Boom, I just got down. Stuff his head. Cross step. Look for the elbow. Start pulling it up. I can get the finish here. Questions? 1, 2. We were practicing, guys. being able to just put pressure down on the back of the head to keep his head posted to the ground, keeping weight on his head, and then being able to stand up and going mobile. The three things that we were working on is if he was reaching out with his legs to catch me from spinning around, is just shin cutting over the top, maybe catching the crucifix, back jumping to take the back, or just cross stepping to pick up this arm bar. Now I want to discuss a new option that we can use that'll do the same job of keeping his spine so that his head is facing down below me. And I can just grab his belt, feed it to my hand, and then keep my hand directly down his spinal column, like so. And that'll keep Peyton's ability to look up, I guess this shot. From here, I'll grab the opposite hip belt right here, and now I have like the same options. If I'm up here like this, if he's reaching his hands out wide, I can shin cut over the top, still get to this crucifix spot. I can still back step, take this arm bar, and now if I want to do the back take, I have an even better back take than just letting go of everything and jumping over. A lot of times that can get that's a little, I don't know, risky behavior, I would say. So you can do another option, since I have two hip grips pretty much, I'll just gator roll over top of his arm. So I'll go all the way, belly up, and then run all the way to the hips. And now I'm on the back side, just like we wanted. So I'll be here, keeping his posture down, feed myself a nice grip in the belt. This will only work if there's a belt, guys, so if it's like midway through the fight, this might not be an option. But if this is available to you, I really like this grip right here. I'll grab the drawstring right here, and then I'll practice my three options. Either I do my shin cut over his arm, and then drag this into a crucifix by getting this all the way over my feet, so my feet are crossed, and now I can do the back take crucifix. Or I can back step from here and take this arm. If I take this arm, guys, and I'm going to fall on the ground, I want to make sure that I fall facing his legs, like so. And then the gator roll, I just go over this shoulder that has the belt grip, all the way to belly up, and now I can run myself up towards the hips and keep attacking the back. Questions? 1, 2. I like this option a lot is because when I'm doing this mobility option where I come up to my feet and I'm pressuring down on his head, if I don't have if I don't have this grip or whatever, the most common escape that the person on bottom will do, and if I'm not paying attention and I'm not anticipating this, is he'll do a front roll and he'll put his guard around me, and I'll be inside passing the guard again, as opposed to chasing the back. So if I have an option like this where I can take a grip that's close to his hips, once he goes to do his front roll, I still have his hips hoisted up. And then I just support his hips with my knee like so. And then this is a super uncomfortable position for Peyton. He's stacked up on his shoulders. It's kind of hard for people to breathe here sometimes. So I actually like keeping them in this position. And then I have my knees supporting me, so I can use my knees to support me, and then also can use my knees to put even more pressure down on folding Peyton's body like so. Once I get to here, we'll just start doing this. I'll grab, instead of a grip, I just cup his thigh, and I bring it to my hip, and now I put my head in front of his chest, and start finishing the leg drag. So I'll be in the turtle. I came up for mobility, I got my grip that I wanted, I was going to go set up everything, and then Peyton does a front roll. I just catch him, and I don't let his hips touch the ground, and I just support him with the back of my knees. Now I can pick a side, so I'll put my knee underneath here, and then I'll just put my knee down on this, the back of his knee. Now I'll grab his thigh, pull it to my hip, and then drop my head in front of his chest. Questions? Okay, I'll give you another option. So I'll be here. And guys, by the way, I prefer, instead of doing this grip, because this grip will make it hard for me to put pressure down on his spine, I prefer 4 fingers with my palm facing up. And that way, the more that I do a bicep curl, the more I control his spine from coming back up. So I'm forcing his spine down. He decides to do a front roll. I catch his hips. And then now, instead of putting my foot down on this, I can choose to just reach underneath, grab his lapel, and then if he's like pushing off my hips, usually I'll have to like get my knee over top of this, and now I just shrug and come in front of the guard like so. One more time on that version. I'll get my grip, Peyton does a front roll, I catch him with this. I reach inside for this lapel, drop to the side, and now just shrug a little bit and come down. Questions? 1, 2. When I'm catching the front roll, if his hips end up below my knees, what I need to do is try to get my knees lower than his hips by scooting my feet back, and then now I just simply walk forward. Instead of like picking his hips up with my chest, sometimes I get to here and he maybe has a grip on me so that I can't get my posture back up. I need to get my knee below his hips and then just start walking my legs forward. And then it'll make his hips go back up again. Now, go back to turtle. Now, for this drill, we're just gonna kind of freestyle. You have a bunch of new techniques that you can call from, but don't forget about your old ones. So we'll start here, like I just defended a shot. I can step over, go for the new stuff, or I can simply just put my knee inside, go for the back takes that we've been working on in fundamentals class and all that stuff. Really just improvise and do what you want kind of thing. So I can stay here, get my new grip, do my gator roll, do whatever I want to do, guys. Okay? Just freestyle. We'll do one person at a time for like 3 minutes apiece. 1, 2.